Welcome, welcome, welcome back to Before You Do with Verlyn. I'm your host and favorite premarital coach, Verlyn Tarlton. And the auntie you didn't know you needed, thank you for joining me today. I don't have a specific topic. However, I want to talk about some of the comments I've been getting. I'm a relatively new channel, and so I am surprised at the amount of comments I've been getting. And I understand where the comments are coming from. I've been getting interesting feedback, and some would say negative feedback about women on my channel. And let me just say this disclaimer. I'm not angry at what I hear. If anything, it's a little sad to know that so many men are angry, even though I'm putting out content that holds women like myself accountable. And even though I am putting out what I consider positive content, I've heard so much woman bashing. All right. Oh my goodness. We're just trying to do better and be better. And my guests are positive and my overall content is the same. However, I hear so many derogatory comments. Women ain't this, women ain't that, women ain't ish. Um, and I wonder, do these men like the women in their families? Like, do they see any redemption or redeeming qualities in their mothers or their sisters or co-workers, any family members? Or are men so jaded where they feel hopeless? I know we have the red pill, the black pill, but I'm saying this. At some point, I hope we all can heal. All right. I really do. I hope we all can heal. And remember, there's a woman that brought you into this world. All right. And I get it. I understand. I get disgusted at some of the things I see out here. It can be discouraging. You wonder why it has even gone to this point. Right. But you have to consider this gender war, and I've said this before, it could not have possibly be started by us. And I'm saying this because we don't own enough, we don't control enough to make this type of impact or have this type of influence. So what we see on mainstream media is not the only narrative. It's the one that's being pushed the most, and the agenda behind it is to have us to continue to be at war with each other so that we are not together and united and moving forward. Okay. And I say this because most of my friends are happily married. And the couples that I know, we are not warring against each other. All right. The couples I know have been together for a decade or more. I've been married going on 19 years just in a few days. All right. So almost 2 decades. And this is not to say that we don't have challenges. It's not to say that sometimes things don't go a little, off track. But what I'm saying is we are still working on each other. We're still working on ourselves. We're still working on being and doing better. And so when I look in my circle, right, and then I ask my circle about their circle, I promise you, all this gender war stuff, all of this hatred and this going back and forth, it doesn't exist anywhere nearly as what mainstream media is putting out. Mainstream media is not the narrative. It is a narrative that's being pushed out and always in the forefront of our eyes. And you have to ask yourself, why? And I challenge you, look at the people, not just in your immediate circle. Ask the people in your circle about their circle that doesn't necessarily include you, and see if all of the stuff that we see, if all of the social media hype is really as strong in these individual circles, because most of us have jobs, most of us have friends, most of us have family, and then you have those people who may be neighbors or other acquaintances. We really need to do a deep dive to see how true mainstream media is. Because if not, if we continue to push the narrative, that's the thing that's making all of this stuff true, right? And I'm not saying it's not true. Let me go back. That is the thing that is continuing to perpetuate the narrative. All right. It reminds me of the 2019 thing, the health, you know what, that was going on. We were constantly shown sick people, people that looked like they were unalive, people that were in the hospital, all of these big suits, all of this on all media outlets. The whole world was probably being shown the same thing constantly, day and night, night and day. And I remember hearing people repeating every single thing they heard. And I would ask, do you know anyone who had these issues? Sometimes it might have been one person that they heard of, but often more than not, they could say no. And then they did not. I had a couple of people out of my family, friends, associates, maybe a couple of people that were affected. But if you looked at mainstream media, it looked like everybody around you was dropping off, right? But it wasn't true in my immediate circle, and it wasn't true in the immediate circles of the people that I knew. That narrative played out on social media, on mainstream media, like it was beyond control. You get what I'm saying? I'm trying to say what I'm saying without saying what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to downplay the folks who were legitimately affected. I know that there were. All right. I know of people who were affected, even if it wasn't immediate. And so I'm not downplaying that. No disrespect or anything like that. What I'm saying is the hype was more than the bite. Now, when you are the one directly involved, I'm sure it's monumental. That's why I'm saying I'm not trying to downplay the real experience. What I am saying is, just like in this gender war, this men hate women and women are no good and men are no good, it's a lot more hype in mainstream media so that we continue to perpetuate what we see. Somewhere, someone, we who have mics, we who have a platform, have to understand that we can push a more positive agenda. I'm not saying to ignore what's going on, and I'm not saying just be positive, 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 and don't address the issue. I firmly believe that positivity is not void of accountability. Let me say it again. I firmly believe that positivity is not void of accountability. You can still be positive, but we still have to hold ourselves accountable, which is why this platform exists, to hold women accountable, to help us do and be better. So for the men who listen and chime in, that's what I'm about. I'm not about gender wars. I'm not about warring against the women. I'm not about warring against the men. I'm about helping create a platform to support women to do and be better, especially women like myself who want to be wives, who are raising daughters who want to be wives. Okay. So I'm saying this, it's a lot more great women than there are not. Than all of this ratchet stuff that we see in social media. I have women in my circle who are great women, working women, women juggling families and jobs, families and businesses, stay-at-home moms, home teachers, homeschool moms, business women, mostly married, good women. And so I'm saying that to say, don't believe all the hype all the time. Oddly enough, the women who I know personally, who I have friendships and connections with, there are a few of them who are single and great women, and they are having negative experiences with men or not even being approached at all. And so I'm saying, well, where are these men that are trying to find these good women and saying they don't exist? Because I know a few of them. I can hook you up, right? So to all the men out there, the red pill, the black pill men, don't give all the way up. There are still plenty of good women out here. They exist. They, in my opinion, are the primary women, not the women out here behind the microphone, in the streets, with the loud mouths, giving all the drama. That is not the majority. I promise you, that is mainstream media doing its job, right? To promote what they want to promote so that we can continue to perpetuate what they want promoted in our culture. Now, if I'm wrong, okay. But I don't see that happening in other cultures. And I say this constantly because I'm still waiting for someone to prove me wrong. If you can show me another culture that is so divided, if you can show me another culture where we are at war with each other, if you can show me another culture where we are constantly at war with one another, if you can show me another culture where we are degrading ourselves, our men and our women, then show me. Prove me wrong because I'm interested in knowing because I don't see it. And it's not like I have all this vast travel history, but I know in my circles where I live, I don't see it. You don't see it in the music. You don't see it much in the movies. You don't see it on mainstream media. So again, you have to ask yourself, why are these narratives being pushed? And then you have to ask yourself, why are we continuing to perpetuate them? And then ask yourself, when you do see something positive, why do you want to insert something negative? Why not just enjoy the positive when you see it? If you see somebody doing something positive, moving towards accountability, moving towards being better and showing a better way, just say nothing. Is that even good grammar? Why not just say nothing? Probably not. Why not say something encouraging? Sometimes silence is even better. Am I the one to tell you what to do? Definitely not. I'm just saying, don't consider that mainstream media is the thing. There are lots of us doing great things out here, making a difference, and who really care about seeing our people move forward together, seeing our people advance our culture, and not continue to be divided, right? That's the oldest trick in the book, divide and conquer. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining this conversation. I have a website, verlyntarlton.com, where I have freebies for those of you who are looking to be married, get engaged, already married, maybe newlyweds. You can find great resources there. If you're looking to be married, I have a couples vision board template where you can sit down with your person and you can work things out on what you think your marriage should look like. I also have other freebies, positive affirmations, and other very, very good resources that you can download for free. Thank you for joining me. From the auntie you didn't know you needed, may you experience extraordinary love. Bye for now.